Welcome to a Saturday morning. That means it is time for us to take a look inside the real estate world with Cynthia Hash on an educational mission to help you understand what's going on when you stick the sign in your yard or you open the website app and start looking at all the pretty pictures of people's houses. Good morning, Cynthia Hash. How are you doing?
Doing well, Joe. Doing well. Virginia is interesting, isn't it, with the weather?
Hmm.
I saw a post somewhere that said Virginia doesn't have four seasons, it has 14.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
And this past week was just absolutely a perfect example
I think
because
Thursday we had all 14 in one day.
in one day.
It's crazy.
So it is. But I don't know. It makes life interesting, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Because
what do you do if you have a showing schedule? Let's say there's somebody who's in town and it just starts snowing like crazy after being 80 degrees the day before. I mean, you got to just say, hey, this is the nature of the beast. I mean, at least you're seeing it all.
that's exactly right. And I think too that there have been people that have actually turned down moving to this area because we're like the pollen capital of the world, and it's and the mosquito. I mean, well, it's not as bad as it is in other places like Southern Florida or something, but I
Oh,
mean,
sure.
yeah, but still, I've even had people turn down coming to Virginia because they can't stand the windy roads.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know,
and you're not getting away from those.
yeah, exactly. Uh, but when it's time to put your house on the market,
Hmm.
I can tell you about the today's show, and that is that we have 25 home showing offenses that could actually cost you offers. And so
Really?
we're going to go over some of that stuff
Oh,
because
good
uh,
tips.
and it, yeah, NAR puts out some good information, and this is one of them. And it says basically common missteps is what we're talking about.
Hmm.
And why are they going to turn off today's home buyer? Well, because today's home buyer is paying more than ever for homes. And so therefore, they're going to want something a little bit more than, a fixer-upper typically. Uh,
Yeah.
so and frankly, we've seen it all. If you've been in the business of real estate for any time whatsoever, you've pretty much seen it all. And everything from not just cluttered closets, but literally can't get from room to room. You know,
Oh,
uh,
my
d-
goodness.
yes, dark, dingy rooms that light bulbs are out, and or they and you just wonder what's going to scurry across your foot at that moment. Uh, you know,
Man.
yes, and lingering nasty odors that you
Oh.
just don't expect.
So
And
we had one, it was actually a manufactured home on a pretty big piece of property
Mhm.
up in Stony Point.
Mhm.
And I thought, well, Stony Point's kind of a nice area. And we get there, and it's down a road behind somebody else's house on some piece of land that was behind somebody else's house. And
Yeah.
it's a manufactured home. And we opened the door and I could smell the dog pee. I mean, almost to
Mm.
the point my eyes were tearing. Then
Yeah.
I heard the barking, and
Yes.
the four little dog puppies that had been doing all the peeing were still in crates in the house while they were showing it. And I'm like, what the hell? What? How am I supposed to live here? And I
You
didn't know if the
can't.
dogs came with the house or if it was part of it or what.
Well, what I do, I can remember having, one in particular, which was the worst dog I issue that I've ever seen. It wasn't just three dogs. It wasn't just four dogs. It was 17
Oh
dogs.
my. It's just selling a
Yes.
kennel.
Yes. Quite, I was very frank with the person who was trying to sell. I was like, this is a fixer-upper, and I hope that you can afford to move out, including your animals,
Hmm.
before we can put it on the market. And that's quite frank. I told him, I said, you're going to get pennies on the dollar if you don't do it. And so these are the things that we're talking about here is those lingering odors that are, absolutely not, I mean, they're just not just unpleasant, but some people learn become nose blind.
Yeah,
And
I
when you
guess
be
after enough
Mhm.
years you would, right? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And quite frankly, there a gal named Pinky Benson came up with this. If buyers notice something wrong before they notice something right, you've already lost ground.
Yeah, oh boy. So you talked about having
Yep.
frank conversations with the seller. That's got to
Yeah.
be one of the hardest things about being a realtor, isn't it?
Yes, it is because the thing is you have to be frank without being insulting. And
Mm,
that's hard to do, actually, if
yeah,
you
I
think
can
about it.
understand.
And like I've said many times, if you've been in the business as long as I have, for more than a couple of decades, then you really deserve an honorary psychology degree with UVA.
That would be true, yeah.
But yeah, and here's the other thing is sellers can think, oh, I had this one really nice, $1 million house, right?
Hmm.
And for some reason they thought it was a good idea to put these plugins in the walls in every single room.
The scented things, you
And I'm
mean, right?
like, yes. And the thing is they didn't even have pets. And I'm like, what did you do that for? Because I, went there again and I'm like, why is this like this really sweet, odor that smells like artificial, I don't know, it
Everything.
smells like an artificial everything. Exactly. And scented candles all over the place and all that kind of stuff. I'm sorry. It basically just smells like a lavender scented litter box
Yeah, at
if
that
you've
point.
got a cat. That just, at that point. But if you're if but that floored me. This well over $1 million house having all these plugins and there was no reason for it.
But it
So
makes
what
it
I'm
seem
saying
like
is
there's a reason, doesn't it?
yes, exactly, because the first thing a buyers are going to say is what are they trying to hide? You know? Yeah.
Hmm.
And so, you walk in and like you said, your eyes were starting to water.
My
Well, what
gosh.
could it be? People are going to automatically think that you're trying to hide some sort of maybe mold issue, or maybe there's
Hmm.
some sort of deep-seated carpet stain or something like that. So that's number one of 25. We've got a whole show to do.
Well, yeah, I don't want to belabor, but
And then
man, that's a tough one. And folks like,
it
do you
is.
have like a crew on speed dial that can come and do a clean for you? Do you know people?
Yeah, so yeah, yeah, I do. And so we would usually get something like that in place and usually I have a special machine that can help, pull the odor out of the drywall and the floors and
That's pretty
and,
good.
yeah, that kind of stuff. So we
Can
do
I
have
borrow it
it.
anyway? Even though I'm not
Yeah, you
going to
want
come in, can I
to?
borrow it anyway?
Yep, exactly. Well, sometimes, yeah, that's right. Sometimes it's not a bad idea, but you can't have any heartbeats in the house during the time that that thing is on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's an
Yeah,
important thing. Anyway, so
y-
let's on. We got 24 others of these to do. I
we
didn't mean to
do, we
belabor.
really do. But number two in this is feeling watched. You got cameras in every room, and it feels a little bit unsettling. And you got this icky feeling that that someone is watching you. Here's the thing, in Virginia, we have a requirement that if you do have cameras all over the place, or even at
Hmm.
the front door, your Ring
Right.
camera, for example, you got to disclose that. And you have to because here's the thing, there's these, Google Homes and all these things that you can get in place that pull in the um, motion, like maybe a motion detector, and all of a sudden the camera goes on, and all of a sudden the lights go on, all of us,
Hmm.
those kinds of things, and all this, technology, and we have to let the people know that that technology is in a house that we're trying to sell,
Right.
because a buyer might not like it. And and the other thing is, I'm going to sit there with my buyer and I'm going to say, listen, this place has cameras all over it, just letting you know. You see the one up there? You see the one up there? Okay. What I'd like for you to do is don't show any emotion while you're going through this house.
Yeah. And
Don't
we'll
let
talk
me
about it at
know.
the diner down the
That's
street. We'll
right. That's exactly right. We'll go to the nearest coffee shop and have a chat about it, but don't talk about it in the house itself, because you could actually, compromise your negotiating position if you
Makes
do that.
sense. Sure.
Because if you start saying how many wonderful things, oh my gosh, Cynthia, I love this place, then all of a sudden they're going to use that against you. They're
Right. Cynthia? 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 You froze. I don't know if you can still hear me. We can't hear you.
so so what you can do if you don't like it,
Hmm.
the house when you're going through it, it would be, I'm not too worried about it if I'm representing the buyer. But
Right.
if you love it, then that's where you compromise your negotiating position, because that seller is going to end up telling their listing agent, if they offer a dime less than the list price, tell them no, because I know how much they love it.
That's a good point too. Yeah, you don't want to, you got to play poker, don't you?
It's a little bit, yeah. And number three is too much of your personality in it. So, in other words, if you have tons and tons of collections of things,
Hmm.
if you've got over personalized spaces, then it's going to hurt showings. And you can't, you've got, the people have to picture themselves, the buyers have to picture themselves in the living in that home. They don't need to picture you. And if you've turned in, if you've turned the third bedroom into a closet because you have that many clothes. And by the way, you can only wear one thing at a time, and there's only 365 days in a year.
Lifetime
So,
lifestyle tips next with Cynthia Hash.
exactly. But you have to remove those personal things, tone it down,
Hmm.
and these statement pieces that whether, I don't care whether you're a Virginia Tech fan or a UVA fan, you know just kind of
The
tone
next
it
person
down.
might not be, or they
That's
might not
exactly
like
right.
football at all. Right.
They might
Exactly.
not. It's exactly right. But basically, what you need to do is focus on showcasing the home's character, not yours.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but that's hard if you've lived somewhere a long time.
That's right. And that's why it takes a long time for people who've been in their house for, a decade or two or more, to be able to come to grips as to how they need to, they need to get into the mindset of, you're they're they got one foot out the door and the other one on a banana peel. And until they get to that point, they're not going to reduce their personal items. They're just not going to. Yeah.
That's
Yeah. So, number four is curb appeal, neglect, basically. So, if you've got a problem with um, keeping up your lawn, and
mhm.
there's certain neighborhoods all over the place that they just don't have lawns. and so that might be something. If you've got potted plants and the flowers are dead and all these kinds of things, you need to make it attractive. Curb appeal is super, super, super important. The other thing is bathroom clutter. Well, your toiletry items, you need to hide them when you're not using them during any kind of showings. And this is I call them wet areas, and that is your bathroom is a wet area essentially.
Hmm.
So people want to know they're going to spend time in the bathroom, so they kind of want to know, and what it looks like. And so reduce your personal items. Um,
Sure,
over,
that's a good idea.
yep, number six, overstuffed storage spaces. Glory be. You've got an entire unfinished basement and you have more suitcases and and totes and boxes filled everywhere.
Hmm.
You can't even walk around in the basement, let's say. Or maybe
Hold
your
it. Are you
cupboards in your
looking at my
kitchen.
basement? Did I put my camera on in my basement? What are you talking
Whoops.
about?
Whoops. But basically you can't when they open up like the kitchen cupboard, okay, when they open those up and it's full of junk, it's impossible to see to the back and see how deep it is.
Yeah,
It's a,
that's right.
yeah, yeah. And
No
we're
sense of what the actual size of the space is.
Mm-mm. No, they don't. And number seven, don't do don't do the cover-ups. And because you might be trying to, if you're trying to mask a big problem, then, don't do it. The lipstick on the pig thing, you let the investors do that. You don't try to do it. It's totally against the regulations anyway. You
Hmm.
have to let us know if there is any kind of material defect in the property. But buyers are savvy, and if they're not, they're gonna hire a really good home inspector, and
Yeah,
guess
good
what?
point.
Yeah, you're gonna lose out. Think of this, okay? If something's gonna cost $7,000 in in reality, it's going to cost $7,000 to fix.
Okay, yeah.
The buyer thinks automatically double that.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So it's
Because, well, you have to. I mean, at that point,
mhm.
because you don't know what you're going to wind up having to invest, and you're going to
That's
want
right.
to take that out of the offer.
That's right. That's exactly right. And so number eight, you know what? It's overpricing it. It's just not worth it.
Hmm.
That's the that's the new thing that buyers can sense. They can sense it the second they walk in. Why? Because real estate's all over the internet. So they'll sense it and they'll look to you and if you don't sense it, then you're in the wrong business.
Yeah,
That's a
no,
realtor.
you're absolutely right on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you've got to make sure you're ready to show what you're showing
Yep.
there, and and you talk about if you feel like you need to hide it, that's probably a good sign that you need to fix it.
Bingo. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. So just go ahead and fix it. Number nine is bad lighting. I can't tell you how many times I can't find the light switch. I can't find the pull down string. I can't, those things. And you don't want the. Have you ever seen those houses where you drive by and they have those yellow lights on
No, I
their
don't.
front porch? Or orange lights on their front porch.
I haven't
And
seen that. No.
yeah, though they exist and it might not it's not bright, it's not lovely. It's dim and it makes a house look less inviting. Or even, like spooky almost.
Hmm.
So change out all your lighting inside and out.
Okay.
Make it go from yellow or questionably yellow to white. and it'll help a property sell quicker, I promise. Number 10, the kitchen. Hey, the kitchen's the other wet area. And many buyers uh, emphasize their need for a certain type of kitchen that they want. And you want it to be clean, you want it to be modern, you want it to have massive countertops, and you don't. And guess what? You can take the stuff off the countertops, put it underneath, and let them see the size of the countertops. We're talking think square footage here.
Hmm.
They want to see their stuff there, not yours.
Hmm.
Number 11 is visible, literally visible dirt. I mean, come on. Get some cleaning done, get some professional deep cleaning done, quite frankly. And it will make it look so good and it'll make it smell so well and that it'll make or break a home sale, I'm telling you, if it's dirty.
Are
It'll,
you
it,
talking inside or outside or both? I mean, I've seen
both,
some,
both.
moldy siding and stuff like that.
Well, moldy sidings, that's usually mildew of some sort, and get it power washed.
Hmm.
Just get that power wash. Basically, inside and out, do a deep cleaning, and you will be happy you did. And number 12, it's not move-in ready. You look up, you see dirty air filters, you see wood rot around the front door, you see worn out carpets, maybe overstuffed closets, all these things that it's hard to remove them.
Yeah.
Buyers these days, they don't want to take on a laundry list of work after closing.
Windows, I've seen that too, like
Yeah.
rotten window
Oh,
frames.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. So buyers don't want to take on projects. And number 13 is, um, you know, your personality it might not be the same as somebody else's. So these bright colors in every single room and different
Yeah.
colors in different color carpets in every single room or different, even different wood floors or luxury vinyl plank, uh, different in this room and different in that room and different in this room, different in that room. It will be a turn off, I'm afraid.
Hmm.
And they can be on color overload. Well, Susie wanted an orange bedroom, and Charlie wanted a red bedroom,
Right.
and mom and dad wanted a navy blue bedroom, et cetera, et cetera. So you can be on color overload, is what we call it.
Again,
Um,
your stuff, not
number
their stuff.
Exactly. And then number 14 is basically messy garages. And just clean up even your garage. Number 15,
Hmm.
I know we're getting short on time. Number 15 is you know, online versus in person. There, a lot of people, a lot of buyers come into the property and go, this doesn't look anything like it looked online. And
Yeah.
you might think it's harmless, but it's really not because these listing photos, they set expectations. And these wide angle lenses make the rooms look twice as large as they really are.
Hmm.
It's actually it's looking worse than listing. So yeah, your marketing might have been fantastic, but you still have to keep them falling in love as they walk in the door.
Right.
And then number 16, we talked about pets and that disarray. And so even if the pets are gone, which is preferable,
Hmm.
the food and the water bowls and leaves that they brought in or whatever. I mean, I have a pet, so I know. You have a pet,
Yeah.
but you got to keep that pet disarray under control.
Hmm.
Number 17 is DIY. Whoops. Am I regretting doing a DIY? If you don't pay somebody to do something and you do it yourself
Yeah.
and it's shoddy work, even just uneven tiles for that matter. Maybe a
Mm,
little bit of mismatched paint, or maybe wobbly cabinet doors, or maybe some caulking that was like a mess that was
hmm.
applied, right? Well, that doesn't add character, you
It
know?
maybe does to you. Oh, remember when Dad tried to do the cement in the driveway?
Yeah.
And it's character to you, but not the next guy.
Exactly, exactly. But that's going to raise some red flags. Like, what else have you not done?
Yeah.
Right? And then 18, basically, if you got, you know, you see the buyer walks in, they see these wall-mounted iPads from 2019. All these things that they see. They have proprietary kinds of nightmares, like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get rid of that? Because I don't want it. And then
I see.
you're mucking up the walls, and then maybe they don't want a smart thermostat. I don't know.
Hmm.
Just I mean, I don't like the smart thermostat that I have in my office. I can tell you that right now.
So it's a lot of
It's
tech, a lot of ingrained
too much
technology.
tech.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, too much tech. I mean, everybody wants Wi-Fi. I get it. Everybody wants internet. I get it. Number 19, personal photos. You, you know, trade out those personal photos with a photo that is neutral. And you'll find out that there's a difference because they're going to concentrate on your house and not your personal items. Number 20, exterior neglect. We talked about this. Rotted
Yeah.
wood, worn siding, nail pops everywhere, et cetera, et cetera. Number 21, deferred maintenance. And that's just like clean your gutters, they replace the foggy window seals and
Hmm.
and so forth. Do those kinds of things. Ask your realtor. They know. Polarizing decor is number 2022. So if you don't, maybe don't be political, maybe don't be religious, maybe don't be
That
you
heavy
know
metal band you remember seeing as a kid is not
that's
so
right.
important to, I get you.
Yeah, and then inconsistent finishes. Though that mismatched flooring I was telling you about,
Hmm.
it's better usually, and it's actually cheaper to do it this way too, is to have a matched floor throughout one level. And
Okay.
that kind of thing. That's actually better. And number 24 is comfort issues. So if you go upstairs and it's 12 degrees different and higher than when you go downstairs, there's something wrong.
Mm.
So, what you need to do is make sure that you are taking that into consideration when you get your HVAC guy to come out and take a look at things. And if you are making buyers uncomfortable because of temperature, they're going to think there's something wrong with your heating and air system. So just a
Gotcha.
thought.
Yeah,
Yep.
gotcha.
And then, number 25, not staging the home, especially when it's vacant. It's a good idea to maybe even physically stage the home,
Right. Put
uh,
something in there.
but put something in there. And a lot of times, sellers don't want to pay the extra money to um, physically do that. Instead, get the photographer and your a realtor would probably have a good photographer that could do this. You actually show a staged room, but it's virtually staged.
I've
And
seen these. I've seen these
yes,
pictures. Yes.
those are actually good but here's the thing, you don't want to mislead the public. So the realtor has to say, this one's virtually staged. Boom. Okay, this one's not. And you have
Hmm.
the exact same photo of the exact same room that one is virtually staged, one is not. Don't mislead the public is what I keep telling all of my agents.
That's a
And
big
if
thing.
yeah, and at Fine Homes Realty, pop on and go to listen to go to finehomesusa.com and go to podcast, and you will get a chance to listen to all the other fun things that we've been going over. I made this one a little bit lighter hearted, I think, than the
I think
last
it's
one
pretty
was.
serious. I think it's very good stuff. And, I think you talked about in a previous episode,
Mhm.
some people that get so into the staging and cleaning up and everything else, they decide they don't want to leave the house. So,
They do. There's some
watch out
people
for
that
that
go,
as well.
yeah, they go, oh my gosh, Cynthia, I'm exhausted, right? And I'm like, and and I sometimes I even pitch in, and help them
Mhm.
out. But at the same time, we're working together. You build your team.
Yeah.
And when we're working together to as a common, goal, okay, the seller has to have this mindset that they're not coming back.
Yeah.
And as soon as they know that, then they know where they're going and they're not coming back. As soon as they get to that position, that's when they can basically turn on all these 25 recommendations and be able to
And
sell their
it's not
house.
so daunting. Well, thank you so
Yeah.
much, Cynthia. It's findhomesusa.com, and
Yeah.
her podcasts are there, but she's there, and that's the most important thing. And have a wonderful Saturday.
Thank you, you too.